Hi guys, I'm Sunita shirsat. Once again for you I have come back. Today we are going to learn Engine Trouble. It's a story by R.K. Narayan. What is the story about here? Here you can see one of the that means one of the occasion like as a fair. Okay, tent is there. Also, there's one of the man given who is called talkative man, and also ticket is given here. Okay. Now, what's the story? Malgudi Days. We know R.K. Narayan is famous for Malgudi Days. First, neatly into R.K. Narayan's literary revolution. According to the author himself, each of his stories displays greater simplicity of the plot and language, even as they develop greater complexity of meaning to exhibit the domain of India. By the time Narayan wrote Malgudi, and you didn't know, but in that era, Malgudi Days was very famous. It was also serialized, and people watch all this show of Malgudi Days very sincerely. Okay. And in Malgudi Days, narrator has described Indianness. That means in what way Indian people live life, what are their problems, how they have their solutions, what difficulties how to face, how to be faced in their lives. All these things have been mentioned in his Malgudi Days. Then what's about story? Engine Trouble is truly Indian story of unlucky draw. Unlucky draw means lottery. The meaning is developed through characters, especially the narrator who may be Narayan's own unflattering self-portrait, who is called talkative man. Talkative man, that means R.K. Narayan himself. Okay? He is a middle class man struggling to rise above his origins, although the narrator wants to adapt to the dominant middle class culture. He remains profoundly attached to his own family sentiment. What is the opening scene? Actually, the story opens with Gaiety Show. Actually, the show is at Gaiety Land, hence it is called Gaiety Show. It's an ironic note of how prize owned by a man proves to be an expensive headache. A showman comes to Malgudi and brings with him his Gaiety land. The Gymkhana grounds are used for the festivities, and the whole town pours in to see the show. Our protagonist wins a road engine at the show. People gather around him, looking at him, and he is some furious animal, curious animal. Now the problem that rises is how to take the prize back home. The driver of the engine is an expensive one, and the suggestion of bringing in municipality is not good idea. It's decided that engine can stay on the Gymkhana ground till the end of the season, but cost of maintaining it on those ground proved to be expensive for our protagonist. Then there's cattle show. What was cattle show? The cattle show comes to town and he is given 24 hours time to remove. So a temple elephant, 50 coolies are hired to to it to a nearby field owned by a friend. Joseph, a dismissed bus driver, comes into hell to steer the engine. Hell breaks loose, resulting in undue expenditure. Then there's Swamiji's show. Okay, Narayan has presented here one of the Swamiji's show. Swamiji who wants to show power of yoga to people. And what happens with Swamiji and engine of the narrator? Narayan introduces who performs various impossible feats, insist on having a road engine run up over his chest. Okay, Actually, Swamiji wants to show how yoga is powerful, and he presented many yoga tricks to present importance of yoga practices. Okay, and last practice was there to run road engine over his chest. Then, when narrator heard that, narrator suggests Swamiji that he should bring his road engine. That way, there's that means moving of road engine from that place. Swamiji, who wants to spread his master's word through his feet, is brought under the light of humor to show such things are still rampant in our country and how people's psyche is taken advantage of by such people. Unfortunately, law comes in between the feet and engine. Actually, Swamiji became angry to move out that road engine and to run over his chest. But when he agreed, then police came, and police didn't allow him for such a feat, and it was then banned. Now, the narrator was very serious, very sad with the problem of road engine, how to move it, where to keep it, and he had loss of money to keep that engine. Also, his wife was very troubled because her ornaments, jewelry were sold to afford the rent of to rent of the place where engine have been kept. Now narrator was very troubled and he wants to leave that village. Also he decided to keep his wife at her maternal house, and next day he wants to leave that village. He also planned for it, but there's natural calamity is nothing but escape of the narrator from trouble of road engine. It is a natural calamity that comes as a stroke of luck for our protagonist and solve all his problems. Again, Narayan shows this agony of how calamity that claims several towers bear good ending up for the owner of engine. Now, when there's natural calamity, there's earthquake and that means narrator has escaped from the trouble of road engine because the road engine moves into well which water was dirtiest and his owner wants to close it. When narrator went there to have last look on that engine, that time he found that road engine was in that dirtiest well. Owner of the well told that, oh, it's very thankful that my well has been now closed because municipal corporation has given him many notices to close that well. Also, that owner agreed to pay all the expenditure of the road engine to the narrator, and this way the whole trouble by that road engine was closed only by that natural calamity. Here, natural calamity is nothing but culmination of all things. Natural calamity is solution of narrator's all problem. That means the story Road Engine is very humorous story. Here we can say fun of talkative man, but also there's agony of him. That means when he couldn't meet money, financial expenditure to keep that road engine. Okay, the story has been titled as Road Engine. Engine trouble because there's trouble and trouble for the narrator only by that road engine. I think you also like the story. Please tell me in comment box how was my video. If you like my video, please like it, share it and subscribe my channel. Thank you.